You are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-15 Dallas Cowboys. Why the Dallas Cowboys 0-15? Because they suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here tonight? From the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. Or anybody who chooses to watch the replay of this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely freaking rock. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here. Anybody got anything to say? Just put it in the chat box. I'll be checking up on there from time to time. Okay. Anybody questions, concerns? Let me know I'm ugly. Anything at all. Let me know. I just seen this, which is pretty cool. Okay. Actually, I want to bring up the, it's just weird. Usually they have, I don't know what happened. Honest to goodness. I really haven't been keeping up on it or whatever. Usually the past whatever amount of seasons, I don't even know. First week of the season, right? You have 2 Monday night games. Now, I don't know what happened. I mean, as I said, past 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, week 1, you got 2 Monday night games. You got your early game, whatever, whoever it is. Like say you got Minnesota at the Eagles, which is what's going on now. Then you got your later game. Then you got game number 2. One game comes on at like 7, whatever. The other game comes on at like 10 o'clock, somewhere around there. So the late game would be, Denver at Oakland, or now it's Las Vegas, okay? But you'll have a game, early game, week 1, Monday night. Early game, then you got a later game, one out on the West Coast. They've been doing that. Now, all of a sudden now, I don't know what happened. There was only 1 Monday night game last week, and there's 2 Monday night games on this week. As I said, if something's going on with one of the games, I'm not aware of it. But I mean, there's 2 absolute, I don't want to say toilet bowl games going on right now, but they're on at the same time. I mean, it should be. When they made the schedule, it should have been a good game. Buffalo and the Titans. Unfortunately, Buffalo's up 1,872 to 1, I think it is right now. So that's an absolute toilet bowl. And the Eagles are winning, and I will not, if my life depend upon it, I will not watch the Eagles win a football game. Not happening. If I was in a hospital and, doctor said, Mr. Wicks, you're either going to die tonight, or if you watch the Eagles win a football game, you'll live for another 35 years. So nope, doc, just kill me now. I will not watch the Eagles win a football game. Not happening. So they're up. So just 2 absolute toilet bowl games going on right now. So that's why I got plenty of time to talk right now. Usually, I like to try to at least watch a game, if they're interested at all. But 2 absolute garbage games going on right now. So I got plenty of time to talk right now. But I did see. It just came out. Must have been a little while ago, because I was looking at the Giants stuff, articles and stuff like around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't see nothing about it. So this article came out like a little after 6 o'clock at night. So got veteran linebacker Jaylon Smith, right? Remember him? Who had a 4-game audition for the team at the end of the 2021 season, is returning back to the Giants. Smith's agent, Doug Hendrickson, tweeted earlier Monday that Smith is rejoining the Giants. Cool. The 27-year-old Smith was a 2017 second-round pick, and if he did not get injured in the bowl game against he played for Notre Dame, my team. If he didn't get injured in the bowl game against Ohio State, that's one of the reasons why some guys do not play in their bowl games. It's plain and simple. Because what it did for him, if he chose not to play in the bowl game, he would have been a first-round pick. Might have been a top 10 pick. he would have been making, what? This is you going back a few years ago, though. So, okay. So, but if the top 10 pick, he probably would have been making, say, at least $4 or $5 million a year. But because he had the horrible injury, he was in a second round pick by the Cowboys. Okay. He slipped to the second round where he's making maybe, I don't know, whatever it was, maybe $1 million a year. So instead of getting a 4-year, I mean, I don't know what the salary was back in 2017, but say getting a 4-year, $15 million contract, right? Because he chose to play in the bowl game, which I don't blame him. I don't either way. If you choose to stay out of the bowl game, I don't blame you at all. If you choose to play in maybe your last game ever in college, I don't blame you there either. Okay, but I mean, if he wouldn't have, quite possibly the top 10. He was that good, so he could have got maybe a 4-year, $15 million contract, but instead he was making 4 years, maybe $5 million because he's a second round pick. So he lost himself probably about $10 million. And not only that, he got injured, so that's why guys just stay out of the bowl games. But he was a second round pick by the Cowboys. He played 4 games for Dallas last season and 2 at Green Bay before joining the Giants, toward the end of the season. Now, he didn't do too bad. Didn't do too bad at all. He was released because, his production had gone down, okay? So when the Giants keep getting him, he don't cost much, okay? Which is right down the Giants' alley. Now, also the Giants, could use some help in the inside linebacker position, which he certainly could, help us out. Okay. I said Smith started 2 games for the Giants and played well. Right? He had 19 tackles, 1 for a loss, a sack, and a quarterback hit. Okay. New GM Joe Schoen decided not to bring Smith, a free agent, back during the offseason. Now, though, 6'2", 245 pounder is back. So he's back. I'm fine with that. And now, especially because going to be interesting to see, okay, because he hasn't been with the Giants at all, especially with Wink Martindale's new defense, and this, that, and the other thing. It's going to be interesting to see because he's supposed to be on the practice squad, okay? So it's going to be interesting to see if he gets if he winds up getting elevated from the practice squad to play the Cowboys. Going to be interesting to see, right? And we got multiple reports indicate that Smith will be joining the Giants' 16-player practice squad. A corresponding move has not been announced. So, obviously you put one guy on the practice squad, you got to get rid of somebody, okay? Or, you get rid of somebody, like just saying, if they traded Darius Slayton, now they got an opening or maybe on a 53-man roster. You elevate somebody from the practice squad. Now you got a hole, now you got and they can put Smith in there. So it'd be interesting to see what the Giants wind up doing, okay? Now, here's a look at the current practice squad, not including Smith. Okay, they got Austin Allen, Ryder Anderson, Jashawn Corbin, Zion Gilbert, Will Holden, Tony Jefferson, Marcus Johnson, wide receiver, Roy Mbetika, the offensive tackle from Nigeria, Casey McDermott, Henry Mondo, I think that's how you pronounce it, Fabian Moreau, Khalid Pimpleton, Quincy Roche, Trenton Thompson, Davis Webb, and Chuck Wiley, an outside linebacker. And, of course, we got an international exemption with Sandro Platzkummer. Okay. So it'd be interesting to see what the Giants wind up doing, okay, to bring Smith back. So we'll have to just want to wait and see. But thought that was interesting. It certainly can't hurt. I mean, unfortunately with his injury and everything, he's just not quite what he was. And, his play's gone down, his pay has gone down and everything. But, you can see this guy still wants to play football. So we'll have to, wait and see. I mean, he might be able to help out, right? Without question, might be able to help out maybe to Tay Crowder, Austin Calitro in the middle. So, but then we got grades. It's time to pass out the grades. All right. We had we had some passing grades. This is from PFF, all from PFF, okay? So we had some passing grades, and we had some not passing grades, okay? But the guy who was number one last week for the Giants is number one offensive-wise, is number one again this week for the Giants. Andrew Thomas, all right? The Rock, the man at left tackle. He graded out at an 87.5. Fantastic. 79 on the pass blocking grade, run blocking grade, 90.8. Somebody, I saw something real fast. I thought he graded out an 87.5, which I thought I saw in an article. The 87.5 was the highest grade for a left tackle this week. So, okay. So let's, when he's going up against Tristan Wirth and, the other guys that he got drafted with in that class, and everybody's saying he's the worst and this, that, and the other ththing. Yeah, go F yourself. I think we got the best left tackle out of the class. Plus, I think the Wirth's. I think he's a right tackle. So, but Mekhi Becton. I mean, the guy's just hurt all the time, right? So I think we got the best left tackle in that draft. So got to give Dave Gettleman some credit. Andrew Thomas, he's a stud. Okay. I know he had some problems. I'm not exactly sure where to get some of these grades at and all that, but he did have a little problem here and there, but not as anywhere near as bad as the rest of the offensive line. Let me tell you that. Richie James, another good game, boy, very good pickup. Not only did he have another good receiving game, I think he had 5 catches for 51 yards, I believe it was. But being able to return punts, I don't know if he returned any punts this time, because I think every time he caught the ball, he was catching the ball like at the Giants' 10-yard line. He was fair catching it. So Giants had a lot of bad field position. The Panthers were just pinning them down time and time again. But Richie James was number 2. He graded out at 72.6. Tanner Hudson was in there for 27 snaps. He graded out at 69.1. Chris Myrick, our tight end / fullback / running back / I guess maybe H-back. He was in there for 23 snaps, graded out of 66.7. Saquon, 65.9. Gary Brightwell was in there for 1 snap. He graded 64.9. Ben Bredesen, left guard. I'm not quite sure. I mean, well, I know Glowinski had a real bad day, but Bredesen graded out of 63.1. Devery Hamilton was in there for 2 snaps, graded out of 60. Antonio Williams was in there for 2 snaps. He graded out of 60. Sterling Shepard, 59.9. Kenny Golladay was in there for 2 whole snaps, graded out of 57.8. Yeah, I know he wasn't happy about that. Daniel Bellinger was in there for 42 snaps, graded out of 57.3. Matt Breida, 11 snaps, 57.2. Darius Slayton was in there for 4 snaps, 56.3. David Sills was in there for 67 snaps. Wow. Graded at 55.7. Kadarius Toney was in there for 28 snaps. I'm not sure if he hurt himself or not. Graded out of 55.4. All right, then we got, so this is when you know your offensive line had a rough day. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 4 out of the 5 worst grades the Giants had on offense was on the offensive line. 4 out of the 5. The other one was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones graded out at a 51.5. Okay. So 51.5. That's not real good. Okay. So we got Evan Neal, our right tackle, graded out at 54.1. His run blocking was at 34.8. Mark Glowinski, the right guard, he graded out at 50.2. His pass blocking was at 24.8. Oh my God, it was just some of that was just hard to take. I mean, you can blame Daniel Jones for this, that, and the other thing, and all that stuff. But I mean, it was just almost like, man, can we give the dude a pocket? Can we give him some time, something, But that's also another way that it goes to show you with the quarterback, okay, when they're always under pressure, okay, how do they perform? Daniel Jones a lot of times just misses guys. He doesn't look around. Maybe he's looking at his feet to see if guys are coming at him or not. I'm not exactly sure. But maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he's too worried about the pass blocking. But, I mean, there was a couple of times there he just didn't see guys who were open. So, you got John Feliciano, the center. He graded out a 39.9. His run blocking grade was a 41.4. And then the worst one, Joshua Zudu, the left guard. He was only in there for 17 snaps. Whew, man. 22.3 graded out at. His pass block was a 72.5. His run block was a 30. We had some. I mean, another reason why we didn't get a lot run, with the run blocking, Evan Neal, his run blocking grade was a 34.8. Feliciano was a 41.4. Joshua Zudu's run block grade was a 30. Had some very bad grades run blocking. Very, very bad. So, except for Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas's run blocking grade was a 90.8. So, the man's well worth his pick. Well worth it. All right. So, I'm very, very happy the guys on our team. Hopefully, he can stay healthy with his ankles and his feet. Okay. Because he's had problems with that. Now we go over to the defensive side. Okay. Now, Leonard Williams, okay, rated out an 83.4. He was the number one guy, okay, and a shame because he wound up getting hurt. I believe it was the third quarter. Didn't come back. Now, apparently, he avoided anything season ending, all right? And what Dable said, he's going to be day-to-day. So Kayvon Thibodeau's been day-to-day for about a month or so now. Azeez Ojulari has been day-to-day for well over a month now, whatever it's been. So day-to-day could mean, he might be able to play next Monday. And, Leonard Williams is not somebody who misses time. All right. So if Leonard Williams is in there next Monday night against the Cowboys, don't be surprised. But, if he, if the Giants need him to take a week or two off or whatever, it is what it is. Better him taking an extra couple weeks off and maybe be able to play the rest of the season instead of bringing him back too early and maybe he hurts himself once again. Okay, so we'll take it as it is. But as of right now, Leonard Williams is day to day. It's nothing season ending or anything like that. So hopefully he'll be back soon. All right. The sooner the better. Micah McFadden was the number 2 guy overall, but he only played in 7 snaps. Okay. He graded out an 82.6. Darnay Holmes, 49 snaps. I'm sorry. He graded out a 77.2. His run defense was a 29.7 now. His tackling was a 27. His coverage grade was an 88.9. Very good. Fabian Moreau was only in there for 17 snaps to be graded out as 69.5. Adoree Jackson was in there for 58 snaps, graded out as 67.2. Oshane Ximines, the X-Man, was in there for 35 snaps, graded out as 66.1. Had a very, very good day. Very good day. Xavier McKinney was in there for 58 snaps, graded out as 60. Dexter Lawrence, Sexy Dexter, was in there for 46 snaps, graded out of 58.3. Dane Belton, welcome to the NFL, buddy. First NFL play he's in. Recovers a fumble. Welcome to the NFL, brother. Dane Belton was in there for 46 snaps, graded out of 55.7. All right. Tony Jefferson, all right. He was in there for only 10 snaps, but he graded out of 54.5. Cordell Flott was in there for 41 snaps, graded out of 53.1. His run defense was not very good either. He graded out of 29. His tackle was at 24.2. So he's got to do better in the run game. Nick Williams graded out of 51.5. Julian Love Mr. Duct Tape was in there for 58 snaps, graded out of 50.9. He got a 72.9 on pass rushing grade. And, of course, they included the sack on the last play of the game for the Carolina Panthers for their offense. Okay. That sack was freaking huge because I think it was like 3rd and 6. Very makeable. I mean, if somehow they were able to find McCaffrey out of the backfield, he would have had a decent shot at picking up 5 or 6 yards, maybe getting a first down, keeping the drive alive, maybe getting them into field goal range, tying the game up, sending it overtime. Who knows what would happen then, right? But that was huge, that sack. Only had 2 sacks, right? The second one came in the last defensive play of the game. Fantastic. DJ Davidson, he was only in there for 8 snaps. He graded out of 48.8. Austin Calitro this time was only in there for 5 snaps, okay, graded out of 47.4. Now, what it was a lot, okay, was you'll notice, the Calitro and Crowder. Crowder was the worst graded one out of everybody on the defense. He was in there for 48 snaps, graded out of 30.2. Justin Ellis was in there for 18 snaps, the defensive tackle. He was graded out of 30.6. Toman Fox, he was in there for 20 snaps, graded out of 43.7. Jihad Ward was in there for 53 snaps, okay, graded out of 44.2. And I said Austin Calitro was only in there for 5 snaps, graded out of 47.4. Now, a lot of what they did was, as far as like the inside linebackers, they seem to have like, a lot of times they had like maybe 6 defensive backs on the field. They had, Belton, Love, McKinney, right? Because you had to have somebody covering or keeping an eye on McCaffrey. You had to. Couldn't let Calitro. You can't have McFadden. McFadden's is kind of like an in-the-box, downhill kind of guy. He's not somebody you want him running around in coverage. Okay, although he graded out of 63.4, but I think he'd have a hard time trying to keep up with McCaffrey. Calitro, Crowder, Mike McFadden, those guys would have a hard time, I think, keeping up with McFadden. It was because I think he had like McKinney, right, shadowing him. So wherever, which, allowed, so they had the 2 other safeties on the field, but they had McKinney following him. Okay. That's why he was only limited. He only caught 4 passes out of the backfield. It's easy to catch passes out of the backfield, right? But they limited to like 4 catches. I think there was like 31 yards, right? It was, nothing really, super crazy at all. He certainly has had plenty other games where McCaffrey's certainly caught more than 4 balls without question. Okay. But I said the Giants, they had to have something, they had to do somebody to address that situation because you didn't want McCaffrey beating you out of the backfield. All right. Okay, so then we got the team grades, okay, after 2 weeks, okay. The overall team grade. Now, obviously, this is without, what do we got? Without Buffalo, without Tennessee playing the second game, without the Eagles in Minnesota, okay. But the overall, somehow, okay, the Giants are 2-0. And the overall team grade, the Giants are 31st. Only the Chicago Bears are worst. The Giants team grade is 57. Everybody's better. The Houston Texans, who haven't won a game, they're better. Indianapolis Colts haven't won a game. They're better than the Giants. Carolina Panthers, their team grade is a 65.2. We just beat them, and their grade is better than us. The Raiders, everybody's 0-2. They're better. The Bengals are 0-2. They're better than us. The Falcons are 0-2. They're like 11 points better than we are. Go figure. All right, offensive grade. Here we go. What do we got here? Well, Minnesota right now is number 1, but they won't be number 1 after the Eagles are going to beat them by like 300 points. Let's see, the Giants. Offensive grade, Giants, 32nd in the league. All right, this is just as bad as it was last year with Jason the Clapper calling plays. The Giants are graded out of 57.1. They're number 32. Every other team's offensive grade, even the Cowboys with a backup quarterback, their grade is better than the Giants. Very sad. Very, very sad. Passing. All right, Buffalo, they're not number 1. They're 90.3, but that's only one game. That doesn't include, they're beating the Titans by about 342,000 points. So their grade might even go up. But Buffalo, 90.3. Giants, let's see. Let me go down to the bottom of the list here. Might as well just head down to the bottom. The Giants are number 27 overall. 55.5. Whew. Brutal. Pass blocking grade. Let's see here. What we got here? Where are the Giants? Somehow the Giants pass blocking grade. They're number 17. I don't understand that. A lot of this stuff from PFF, I don't understand. Like, how on earth does everybody who played in the game yesterday, 24 hours later, not even 24 hours later, they have a grade for everybody, right? Every guy's got a grade, like offensively, they got a run blocking grade, pass blocking grade, a running grade, an overall offensive. How does everybody? I don't know how they do that. It's amazing. All right, receiving grade. Let's see it. Miami Dolphins. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oof. What they did yesterday. Holy cow. Hill and Waddle. Oh, my God. What a dynamic duo those two are. Holy crap. There's only been two. Yesterday was the second time in NFL history, okay, that two receivers on the same team, Waddle and Hill, each had at least 170 yards receiving, and each one had 2 touchdowns. The only other time it happened, I think it was 1941. Don Hudson and from the Green Bay Packers did it. I can't remember his teammate did, but they did it. There was each of them had 170 yards receiving and 2 touchdown receptions. So, all right, let's see the Giants receiving grade. Where are the Giants receiving grade? Giants are number 25 with a 63 overall receiving grade. Running grade. Let's see here. Who's number 1? Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Wow. 85.8 running grade. The Giants. Wow. All right. The Giants. Running grade. The Giants are number 23 overall. 62.9. Run blocking, number 1, Kansas City Chiefs, 82.3. The Giants, where are the Giants at? Run blocking. See, I just don't understand it. Somehow the Giants had over 200 yards rushing, okay, against Tennessee. And it maybe a little bit of an off day, yesterday, but somehow PFF has them, they're the 32nd. They're the worst run blocking grade team in the NFL. 47.3, the Giants are their run blocking grade. All right, then we go to defense. Now, the Giants should have some nice numbers here. Somewhat nice. Okay, defense. Well, I don't know. Defense. Overall defense. Giants are number 25, 55.3. I don't get that either, but that's unbelievable. No love for the Giants. Run defense. Same thing here. I don't understand this. The Giants should be very good with the run defense. And they're number 27. Somehow they got them at 50.9, the run defense. They shut Henry down. Didn't even average 4 yards a carry. I don't understand. Don't makes no sense to me. Tackling grade. All right, let's see here. Tackling. Dallas Cowboys number 1, 83.0. Tackling. The Giants. Okay, the Giants are number 17. Got a little love here. They were 58.7. Actually, last week the Giants were like top 4 or 5 as far as tackling, so they slipped quite a bit this week. Pass rush grade. Let's see. Buffalo Bills, 87.5. They're number 1. Dallas Cowboys, 80.7. All right, so Giants next week are going to have their work cut out for them. I mean, they're having a hard, they're struggling blocking, okay? The Cowboys had a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow, a lot of pressure, sacked him a lot of times. So if you think they got a little pressure on a lot of pressure on Burrow, what do you think they're going to do with Daniel Jones? So definitely going to be a tough week for the Giants. It doesn't matter if they got a second, third, fourth string quarterback in there. It ain't going to be easy at all for the New York Giants. The Giants' offensive line's got their work cut out for them because the Cowboys can bring the pressure. So the Cowboys are number 3 overall. They were 80.7. All right, let's see here, the Giants. I mean, they can't be too high up there. They got 3 sacks. So they're at 58.2. Giants are number 29 overall, tied for 29 with the Saints. So we got coverage grade. The Giants shouldn't be too bad with this. The Buccaneers are number 1, 85.4. The Giants, geez, God. No love for the Giants. I'll tell you, where are the Giants at? Giants are number 23 overall, 56.7. And special teams, Seattle Seahawks, number 1, 88.3. Wow. The Patriots, 83.1. The Titans, 81.3. The Giants. 55.5. The Giants are number 27 overall. Special teams grade. So, wow. Tell you what, no love at all for the Giants. Oh, my goodness. Wow. But it is what it is. But it was a tough game. Both 2 victories, 2 tough victories, 2 close, victories. Right? You are what your record says you are. That's what Bill Parcells says. I mean, you can be 1-7. And those 7 losses could all be by last-second field goals, and you lose by 1 point on all 7 of them. Your record says what you are. That's what you are. Giants, 2 tough victories, weren't pretty, this, that, and the other thing. But the Giants are 2-0. Records, you are what you say you are. So, but don't get fooled. Monday night, the Giants, there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans, too. Cowboy fans travel really well. I've been at Giant Stadium many a time when the Giants played the Cowboys. Cowboys fans travel very well. So it's going to be raucous, all right? But even the Cowboys got to have a third string quarterback in there. Ain't going to matter. It's going to be a tough game, especially for the Giants. If we can get Kayvon Thibodeau back and maybe Azeez, and we can get some pressure on Cooper Rush, that would be freaking huge. If we can get Aaron Robinson back, that would be huge, right? Especially if we're not going to have Dexter Leo Lyon in there. But for the offensive line for the Giants, it ain't going to be easy next week. Not going to be easy at all. But Micah, their defensive line is very, very good, right? So it ain't going to be easy at all for the Giants next week. Their offensive line had a hard time against the Panthers. They had a hard time against the Titans. They're going to have a hard time against the Cowboys, though. So, but that's been 33 minutes, all right? We'll welcome Jaylon Smith back to the practice squad. Will he get elevated next week for Monday night prime time against his former team, the Cowboys? We'll have to wait and see. But once again, anybody spent any time out there at all watching me right now, thank you. Or anybody spends any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely freaking rock. And as always, you guys stay safe out there. And go Giants!